Where are you guys at? Why are your people not standing with us?
We don't want you to defend us. You don't have to defend us. It's okay. You guys have your own problems. I'm just telling you about history, what happened, how Mexicans helped the black slaves, how a lot of Mexicans got killed as well, saving them.
Or how about the fact that racism, anti-blackness, colorism, all of these things are still very much pervasive in our communities?
Latinos, we got a lot of anti-black racism in our community, and we usually let it slide because it's our family saying this racist shit.
I don't think that the Latino community deserves the support of the black community.
I don't think black people have a right to tell white people or Hispanics what they can and cannot say. And that means if a black person wants to use the N-word, that means a white person also.
Because they took over Miami, and it was to the point where you couldn't even find a job unless you spoke Spanish. And
a lot of Latinos, we stand strong next to President Trump. Let's make America great again. Let's go.
To show up to the polls and vote, where were y'all?
Now that your undocumented family is at risk, now that your kids are being targeted, or the kids in your circles, now that they're coming for you, now it's a problem.
Black people, stand down. I mean, if you want to help, that's up to you, but don't let these people guilt trip you.
We focusing on ourselves, we focusing on our families, we focusing on our community, and we focusing on our relationship with God.
Y'all listen and y'all fall for it. I don't know why y'all thought because y'all got papers y'all were different. You're not different. You're not different. He hates everyone who's not a white man.
A whole lot of Hispanic people is wanting black people to stand up for them for these ICE raids. And a lot of black people is getting online saying they're not going to do that, okay?
Now I can empathize and sympathize with the black community. I've never been able to do that before because I would hear them say things like, oh, you know, we walk down the street and we get profiled and, you know, cops will just suddenly stop and frisk or whatever.
We get caught up in where the ship dropped us off versus where the ship picked us up.
Yeah, they're from all over. Where are you guys at? Why are your people not standing with us?
Latinos in the U.S., let's do things the right way and let's keep growing. Let's keep growing as a family and let's make America great again.
Necesitamos a Trump. Let's make America great again. A lot of Latinos, we stand strong next to President Trump. Let's make America great again. Let's go.
I'm just happy we in good hands. I know this 4 years is going to be one hell of a run. I know he's going to do a lot of great things for the whole Spanish community. Especially, we're going to make America great again.
I'm glad I gave that vote to Mr. Trump, and me and Anuel AA are here supporting. Que viva Puerto Rico, and let's make America great again.
Congratulations, President Trump.
We need you. We need you back, right? Do you know who they are? Do you know who the hell they are? Come up here, just fast, fellas, come on. Because I don't know if these people know who the hell you are. But it's good for the Puerto Rican vote. Nikki Jam, do you know Nikki?
You cannot run from your history. You cannot escape your identity. And you cannot vote your way into whiteness. For centuries, Latinos were told that proximity to whiteness equal to safety. So, they aligned themselves with the very system that see them as foreigners. And now, when the consequences show up at their door, suddenly they remember black solidarity. Suddenly, they need the people they ignored. Today, we are going to expose the root of this identity crisis. We are going to talk about race, history, and power. And why Latino and black communities will never win by trying to outrun each other, but only when they stand together. All the credits belong to original creators of the clips used in this video. And remember that the video is only for educational purposes. Remember to share with us your own opinions down there in the comment section and like the video for it to go viral.
Yeah, baby girl, we're gonna sit this one out. This has nothing to do with us. You know what gets me is that when y'all are in a time of distress, y'all always looking for black folk to come to the rescue. It's like y'all want us to come in like Captain America, Superman to come save the day. Nah, baby, we ain't coming to save nobody but ourselves. You hear me? What we are going to be doing is drinking water, herbal teas, staying moisturized, and minding our black business. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to have our boots to the ground, baby. And we're going to be line dancing. We're going to be flapping the fan around. We're going to be having a good time. That's what we're going to be doing. And you know what gets me and how ironic is that when we're the ones that's under attack, you all remain silent. Y'all get quiet. But now that y'all under attack, y'all expect the whole gathering, the kumbaya meeting and everything. Nah, baby girl, we gonna be chilling. We gonna sit this one out. But good luck with that. Good luck with that.
The Ukrainians, and they were saying, yeah, but these people are literally, if they go back there, they could die and stuff. We could die as well. I told them that my father wasn't alive and we had to escape, and they were laughing about it. We were saying, yeah, well, we all have problems, but they were defending the white people. And what I'm trying to say is like we don't want you to defend us. You don't have to defend us. It's okay. You guys have your own problems. I'm just telling you about history, what happened, how Mexicans helped the black slaves, how a lot of Mexicans got killed as well, saving them, how we have always stand.
So now that, why do I keep seeing posts asking where the black community is for the Latinos? Some lady was like, why isn't the black community speaking up for us when we spoke up for y'all during BLM? What? Sorry for being an asshole, but I feel like some of y'all forgetting the reason why you and your marginalized group have rights is because of the Black American civil rights movement. Your parent is illegal, but you were born here, so you're a citizen. Why do you think that was able to happen? It wasn't because of you. It was because of us. Every civil liberty that my grandmother and my great-grandmother and my great-great-great-grandmother had to fight for, y'all voted against. When we were telling you that it would be in your best interest to vote for someone who looked a little bit more like you than a white man. But y'all didn't give a fuck. Remember Latinos for Trump? That's what got y'all here. Why is it my job to save a community that voted against their own right, that voted against their best interest? Why should I save you? You couldn't even save you. Why do we always have to speak up and fight for somebody? Y'all don't fight for us. Then this is coming from a community with a documented history of disliking black people. No shade, like the colorism, the texturism, the me no black. The Hispanic woman coming on the internet unprovoked being like, oh, that's why your men don't like you. Not saying that y'all deserve to get deported, but the man told y'all that this was gonna happen. We told y'all that this was gonna happen. Other Hispanic people told you that this was gonna happen. Now it's happening. Now everybody got a fucking Pikachu face. He's been saying this since 2016. This is not new information. He been deporting people. Been deporting y'all since 2016. This is his third campaign too. This is his third time running for president. Second time winning. I don't know what y'all was expecting to be different from this time, when every single time he tells y'all exactly what he's gonna do, and y'all listen and y'all fall for it. I don't know why y'all thought because y'all got papers y'all were different. You're not different. You're not different. He hates everyone who's not a white man. White man. So yeah, no shade. Stop asking where my black ass is and where my community is. We in the house. We're resting. Black people, do you hear this? We are resting. We are not fighting for anyone who actively won't fight for themselves, because that'd be the problem. Y'all want us to do all the fighting and then y'all just reap the benefits. You're not reaping nothing from my black ass anymore. Thank you.
Being from Miami, I don't know how to feel about Cubans being in their find out era, because they took over Miami, and it was to the point where you couldn't even find a job unless you spoke Spanish. And even if you spoke Spanish and you wasn't Cuban, you wasn't getting that job. And I give them a lot of credit, because before their family or friends would leave Cuba, they would already have a job, a car, and a place to stay by the time they reached Miami. Like, they really set up their people very, very well. Even had a wet foot, dry foot policy. Where they messed up at was thinking that they thought becoming a Republican was going to make them turn. And the whole time they're speaking Spanish. And a majority of them didn't even bother to learn English, but yet they thought they were. And my main question is, what is the difference between Fidel Castro and 45? Until then,
I've been seeing a lot of conversation around why Black people are not helping the Latin American community with all of the triumph that they've encountered due to this administration. And to be honest with you, Black people have an agenda this administration. We focusing on ourselves, we focusing on our families, we focusing on our community, and we focusing on our relationship with God.
Trump is doing like the mass deportation, this Mexican woman, and I've seen a few other Mexicans saying that Black people needed to help them and stand in solidarity with them. This is not our fight. And she's talking about how the Mexicans helped the Black slaves and how they were killed and on the front lines. First of all, we don't even have to go back in history. We already have a lot of issues in our community that we have to face daily and that we're marching for, going to Congress about, trying to get bills passed. We don't have any allies. So we don't even got to talk about slavery. What about now? I don't see the Mexican community rallying behind Black people. I just don't see it, not by the droves. I'm not going to say on an individual level and on an individual basis, there are some of you that may, help, but this is not our fight. Don't. You see how they come and recruit us when they need help and when they need numbers? But when we need help and when we need numbers, we're just another nigga on the street. Like, come on, they a lot of these Latinas, they be racist too. Okay? I've been to Mexico and I've seen Mexicans that were dark as me. They don't get the representation in the media. We only see the lighter complected ones. Colorism is rampant over there too. We could go deep, but Black people, stand down. I mean, if you want to help, that's up to you, but don't let these people guilt trip you. Not the guilt trip. What y'all think about this? Do we owe the Mexicans anything? It's relevant to Brooklyn Lane.
They're going to have the unmitigated gall, audacity, the caucasity to ask us to come out and fight their battles after they have created this environment, after they have created this whiteness and white insecurity, maskiness, white supremacy, after they have benefited from those systems. They have the unmitigated gall, the caucasity, the audacity to ask Black men and women to come and save them. Why would y'all need us to come and fix the racist BS that y'all voted for?
We as Black people get caught up in that
semantics
that separates us as opposed to uniting us. We get caught up in where the ship dropped us off versus where the ship picked us up. You know what I'm saying? We all come from the same root. It's just a tree with different branches. The same boat that picked up your ancestors picked up my ancestors. Only they dropped yours off here. They made a pit stop in the Caribbean and dropped mine off. But my ancestors still dealt with slavery. Still dealt with being, having their family and their lives ripped from them and having to come back from colonialism and slavery. So and it's not just African Americans, it's Afro-Cubans, it's Afro-Dominicans, it's Afro-Puerto Ricans. Like, all these people got to get out of their colonialized minds and stop thinking, oh, I'm not this, I'm this. Okay, yeah, you can be Latin, but you're Black first.
And the separatism that takes us apart when we all have the same struggle. We all experience the same
100%.
struggle.
Because when I walk into a room, they ain't thinking, oh, we're going to give him a pass because he's Latin. Yeah. Or if a cop pulls me over, he's not like, oh, okay, I'm not going to shoot him or I'm not going to beat his ass because he's Cuban. No, I'm Black. You know what I'm saying? And I'm dealing with the same struggle. So we all gotta unite and fight for the struggle together because we're all dealing with the exact same struggle.
I lived in Miami for almost a year, and while I was there, in the apartment building that I was living in Pembroke Pines, there were some Mexican guys doing some repairs on the roof. They saw me pass by walking my dog, and they say, "Beautiful, morena," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." And they say, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Cuba." They say, "Cuba? We didn't know people in Cuba look like you." And I said, "Like me, like what? Black?" And he just stopped on his tracks and changed the subject. The majority of Latino people are very racist. I didn't know that I was living in a very racist country until I met my Jamaican husband, and he made me realize how racist people in Cuba were. And once your eyes are open to this, you cannot unsee it. There was a time in Jamaica when you could watch Spanish television. We had 2 TV stations, Univision and Telemundo. These TV stations, each of them had 1 Black anchor. One had 1 female for the news, and the other one had a male, 2 Black people. Both TV stations show a wide array of telenovelas, which is basically Spanish soap operas. And these telenovelas were made and produced in Latin America. Brazil, Colombia, Mexico are one of the biggest places where soap operas are made. Now you tell me now how a Colombian telenovela of 350 episodes don't have 1 Black person in it. If you see a Black actor on a telenovela, is actually playing a slave or a character that they are trying to bring back to life, like Celia Cruz. So these have just added to that white supremacy and had made people from other places believe that Black people doesn't exist in Latin America any at all. So if as a Jamaican, you travel to Miami and you suffer what he did, don't be surprised. I'm sorry this happens to you, but it's a sad truth. Hopefully this will change soon in the future. Thanks for watching. Mucha love.
This is going to piss off a lot of Latinos, but here we go. Latinos, we got a lot of anti-Black racism in our community. And we usually let it slide because it's our family saying this racist shit. And I'm going to need y'all to start calling out your family members. Because all you Latinos seem to forget that we Latinos also have Black ancestors. We also have ancestors who were slaves in Latin America, who came from Africa. Just because you are not an Afro-Latino does not mean you do not have African ancestry. Black people are our family. We gotta stop the racist bullshit and start working together.
Unpopular opinion. Hispanics and Latinos are just a bunch of mixed breeds. And I always knew this, but y'all know that trend where everybody doing like what's in my DNA and then it's like 55% this, 60% that. Yeah. Everybody that's Hispanic is coming out like 50% European, 30% African. Like motherfuckers love to be like, I'm half Puerto Rican, half this, or I'm half Mexican, half this. Mexican is not a race. I could be Mexican if I was born in Mexico. And I'm blackity black, black, black. Puerto Rican is not a race. Puerto Rican, it's a part of America. I don't even know what you call that. A territory? Yeah. It's a nationality. But yeah, a lot of people that's like Hispanic and Latino that live in the Americas, they're just mixed breeds, mixing with other mixed, and just, I guess they just form their own mixed union. I don't know. Because white people didn't want blacks, so they tried to clear out the black race by mating with blacks and then mating with whites and whites mating with blacks, and then I guess they just end up making a whole sub race. I don't know, but yeah, that's my unpopular opinion.
I think it's funny how everybody's true colors are coming out, especially the Black people.
So now it's funny how Black people's true colors are showing. Let's unpack that. Been the blueprint for resilience, culture, and activism. Realize that majority of the rights that you have in America are because of people who look like me. I'll keep going. She brought up Black Lives Matter, which I love this topic. Yes, we were outside fighting for our lives, not just holding signs, treating activism like a trend. It's not a viral moment, sweetie, because we live that fight every day. As for the we were there narrative, standing beside us, the same as standing for us, especially if you're quick to talk down on us the moment it's convenient. About fleeing to America during slavery. Mexico abolished slavery in 1829, which made it a refuge for enslaved Black people escaping the US. We didn't flee. They sought freedom. Those two are not synonymous of each other. Flipping through a history book, a Google search would have told you that. Lastly, I'll say this. Solidarity comes with conditions or backhanded comments. Keep it. Black people don't need performative allies. Damn sure don't need people who want to sit here and not take accountability for their own actions and question their own people why they voted for that jackass. We did our part. So yeah, you know I'm gonna be at? Right here, chilling. I'm in the house. I'm in the house. Good luck.
Why are Black people not supporting the Latino community, this, and that? And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that the Latino community deserves the support of the Black community. And the reason why is because the Black community didn't vote for this guy. The Latino community did. We, the Latino community, and I'm speaking about all of us, are the reason we are in this shithole that we are in. Because over 48% of Latinos voted for Donald Trump. It wasn't Black people who put Donald Trump in the White House. It was Latinos who put him in the White House. So now that we're getting screwed over by this guy, I'm sorry, but we have to first take some personal accountability and look at our uncles and aunts and brothers and sisters and friends who are Latino and voted for this guy. And before we expect other communities to come and save us, we need to start educating our own community Because we are now seeing the consequences of our own actions. And yes, I would love to have the support, of other communities and be all united in this front. But I also understand the frustration Black people have because, like I said, they saw what was coming. They didn't vote for this. Look at the numbers. I'm not making it up. It was Latinos who put this guy in the White House. It wasn't Black people. It was us.
I don't think Black people have a right to tell white people or Hispanics what they can and cannot say. And that means if a Black person wants to use the N-word, that means a white person also can use the N-word, because all lives matter, not just Black lives matter. So with that said, we need to stop cancel culture. It is anti-American. It is anti-free speech. And if you can say the N-word, so can I, whether you like it or not. It doesn't affect your freedom, but you're sure affecting mine by telling me that I can't say it because I'm not Black. So make the N-word great again.
Okay, well, how about we make ICE great again too, bitch? It's a little weird that not only are Latinos pressed, but white folks are asking, why aren't Black people out there protesting? Y'all usually ask, why are we protesting? It's almost as weird as this roll-off full of rocks that just so happen to be right in LA, right where the riots are, all cut off evenly, no construction around, just so happen to be there so people can start throwing them. Is that why y'all want Black people out there? So y'all can get staged video footage to roll on cable news all night long showing unity and violence against Trump? Stop trying to use us. And all I keep hearing is Blacks and browns, we got to stick together. Blacks and Latinos, we're brothers, we're one. Okay, well, I'm going to need you to have that outlook for more than just rioting and violence. I'm going to need you to have that in the job market too, because Blacks can't get a job in LA. Latinos hire Latinos, whites hire Latinos. If you don't come to LA already in a job that moved you to LA, or you own your own business, you're not working in LA. You know who's working in LA? All the people that they want us to protest to come here. So Black people, the next time you're asked why aren't you out there protesting with the Palestinians or with illegal immigrants, just let them know you put in the same amount of effort that they put in to get Black reparations.
The reason why you're not seeing so many Black people at these protests is because that's what Donald Trump wants. Okay? Donald Trump wants us to be the front line, to be beaten on, and things of that nature. And the fact that you guys have not acknowledged that, you're looking behind for Black people, and you've never sat down and said, well, why aren't Black people jumping to the front of the line during these protests? I made a video after Kamala Harris lost that illustrated that Black people are tired. We are tired. We're exhausted. And so we decided to take a different approach. We decided to not be the front lines. We decided to be the ones at home. We decided to be the voices, things of that nature. Organize also amongst ourselves and get ourselves together, because clearly people did not vote with us. Now you're seeing the effects of that. The reason why you're able to notice things within the Trump administration is because they can't center Black people as the problem. That's what it is. They can't centralize Black people as the issue. And they've been trying. They've been trying every which way to get us out there to protest, and we have not budged. Of course, we're against these illegal deportations. We were the ones who told y'all this was going to happen. A Black woman running for president told you that this was going to happen. And a lot of you guys said, fuck it. Mind that the reason why Black people have taken a step back collectively is because of what we've seen over the past couple of years. And you guys didn't learn your lesson until you had to deal with it yourselves. This is white people. This is Hispanic people. This is Asian people. Now everybody's sick. We told you.
Or how about the fact that racism, anti-Blackness, colorism, all of these things are still very much pervasive in our communities. Bro, Latinos haven't even reconciled with the fact that they can't use the N-word unless they're also Black themselves, because Afro-Latinos exist. Oh, and if we're talking about Miami, oof, you'll see the whitest MAGA Latinos be like, bro, but I grew up in the hood. I grew up around Black people. In Overtown or in Liberty City, I could say it, bro. No one's going to stop me from saying it. It's my right. I'm not racist. I have a Black friend. We haven't even gotten over that. And we want Black people to go to protests with us, to engage in activism with us, putting their lives, their freedom, their bodies on the line? No. I completely understand any black person that wants to just disengage, disregard us, I get it, guys. I really, really do. And we, as Latinos, as a collective, should not be harboring resentment against black people, criticizing them, getting angry at them, questioning them. No. No. Because we've earned this. They are completely justified in feeling the way they feel and doing what they're doing. Now, I would like to give a message to the black folks watching this video. You are completely justified in your feelings and in doing what you're doing, and I respect it. But please remember that black folks are also being affected by this persecution of undocumented migrants. And I feel like that's not talked about enough either. Here, Miami, Florida is the best example. Haitians, Jamaicans, Bahamians, Afro-Cubans, Afro-Hondurans, Garifunas, black people from all over Latin America and all over the world, Africans, just so many black people that are also undocumented that are really being affected by the persecution of this administration. And of course, much like any other entity in space, black folks in immigration detention centers, in the immigration system, are treated worse than their white, Latino, Asian counterparts. So it's really important to acknowledge that and just let you guys know. But yeah, Latinos, we need to tighten up. If you guys want the support of the black community, then earn it. Demonstrate that we can solve these issues of racism in our own communities, and please stop saying the N-word. If you're not black, don't say the N-word. It's really simple.
I wish y'all stop getting on here asking where are the black people, why they not protesting. Where were y'all at? When we needed y'all to show up to the polls and vote, where were y'all? This is something y'all knew was gonna happen. So I don't understand why y'all keep asking where the black people are. We're at home, moisturized and unbothered. Do I think what's happening is wrong? Absolutely. I think it's inhumane. I wish it would stop. But where's y'all accountability? Because this is what y'all voted for. Everybody told y'all this was gonna happen. Y'all didn't want to vote for Kamala because y'all said y'all wasn't voting for her. She was a democratic, and just because she a black woman, she don't know, she unqualified. And look what we got. A toddler on a tyrant. So y'all go out and y'all protest and y'all march and y'all do what y'all can, but stop asking where the black people at. Because where were y'all when we went to vote? We was asking y'all to vote, our lives depended on it. Ours included. Did y'all? Absolutely not. So hang that up. Flat screen.
When we told you this would happen, you didn't listen. When it was just theoretical, it was easy to ignore. But now that your undocumented family is at risk, now that your kids are being targeted or the kids in your circles, now that they're coming for you, now it's a problem. Listen, I get it. I have family who voted for him too. And I won't lie, it makes it very hard to process. It sometimes even makes it hard to talk to them because how am I supposed to be okay with that? I have undocumented family. I have a trans sibling. Trump's policies directly hurt people I love. So when I see our own people supporting him, it feels like a slap in the face. And I keep asking myself, why? How did this happen? This man called Mexicans rapists. He bragged about deporting families. He made racial profiling and hate cool again. And still, some of you voted for him.
Hey, fellow Latinos, I'm not saying it's okay or right that black people are like, no, let them fend for themselves. I mean, honestly, it is okay, but I'm not saying like, yes, let's do that because unity is what helps us. But also, like, I know it's not supposed to be transactional. I just need you guys to start thinking because you guys are like, you know, all gung-ho, active out there, unified together in the streets now. But where were you when the George Floyd protests were? I personally was out there with my friends who were Asian, Pacific Islander, Mexican, and Puerto Rican. And then I'm Mexican myself and a white husband. We were out there, okay? And I've gotten comments from people in my community, people in my family who have been like, well, you think you're black. What about me? What about my content? What about the way I speak, the way I act? What about you makes you think that I think I'm black? Oh, because I advocate for black people too, as much as I advocate for my people? It shouldn't be transactional. You shouldn't have to have a dog in the fight to care. You should just have basic empathy. You should just care about people. You see a sad story, oh, you cry. You want to help out however you can. You guys see that all the time. You see a puppy in danger. Oh, let's rescue all the puppies. Why is it so hard to do with humans? Black people don't owe us anything.
So why in Davy Jones' locker are y'all so pressed and mad at us because we not out protesting? Folks, we did the most effective protesting last November. And the data proves it. We protested when it mattered the most. We were not out here with whole productions talking about some we will vote for Donald Trump. Y'all was out here with that foolishness, knowing full well that y'all had a few abuelas, a few tios, tias, mijo, and mijas in your house undocumented. But y'all got y'all behinds on stage talking about some woo woo for Donald Trump. And you think we supposed to be out here protesting, picket fence in hand, clowning? Like some monkeys in a zoo? Oh, no, sir, bop.
Black and Latino division is profitable if they divide two of the most influential communities and create hatred amongst us, then they profit. Some of our people from both communities are so brainwashed, our own people forget their roots. Forgetting your roots is a good thing because for them, if you forget where you came from, then you forget how powerful you are.
See, here's the thing. I did stand up for you guys till I got fired my first day at work because of you guys. I stood up for y'all and everything that was right in brown and black until I lost my job within 24 hours because of you guys. Story time on how I thought I was going to have a job and work a regular job until I got there and lost my job because the Latinas that were there lied and said that I did that until I talked to the supervisor and got my job back. So she quit because she did not want to work with me. But the way that she did quit, it was what was funny about the situation. Because she didn't quit until after my supervisor brought me back to work. She put me back on my regular shift and she didn't come back to work. She quit right then and there. And the reason for her quitting is because she didn't want to work with me. So she quit. She never came back to work. After she quit, the only person that I had problems with now is old boy. And her mom came in on the next shift after me, 6 a.m, right? Now, mind you, her daughter didn't quit. The dude who was dating old girl quit, who in turn made her quit. So now there's 3 people in a row that has quit within the next 2 to 3 days or week that I had been back to work after getting fired in 24 hours because they tried to lie on me and say what I had did and didn't do.
A whole lot of Hispanic people is wanting black people to stand up for them for these ICE raids. And a lot of black people is getting online saying they're not going to do that, okay? Because of y'all vote for Trump. Now, understand that a lot of these people that's talking about it lives in South Florida. I live in, I don't know what part of Florida this is, but I stay near the airport. Anyway, all I know is that if we never stand together, we're always going to be separated. I know that you don't want to risk your life for them. I get that. But at the same time, would y'all risk your life for us? We gotta ask that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it can go vice versa. But if we always, you know what I'm saying, never stand up for nobody, never be there for them, it's never going to be a time in history where we're actually standing all together. The only time is going to be in 2020.
Now I can empathize and sympathize with the black community. I've never been able to do that before because I would hear them say things like, oh, you know, we walk down the street and we get profiled and, you know, cops will just suddenly stop and frisk or whatever just because of the color of their skin. And I always thought like, you know, it's a little bit of a stretch. It feels like a little bit of a stretch.
What?
That person must be doing something, right? And
really?
Obviously, I've never experienced that before. I've never felt that way before and stuff. And so I always thought like, ignorantly, by the way, on my part, thinking like, you know, I think you guys are, because I'm brown, you know, I've never felt that and stuff like that, you know. I'm also a minority.
You think?
But now, with us, it wasn't the cops. Cops aren't just randomly go and checking in the past. But now it's our turn, right? Now
it's still happening to black
we
people.
feel it. Now we feel like, crap, can I just go down the street? Do I need my paper? You know, it's like, why are you stopping me? I'm a U.S. citizen. We're not doing anything wrong.
So now you get
it.
it.
We're being persecuted.
You
and so I'm
voted
thinking
for
like,
this.
crap, this is what the black community meant, you know? And I kind of feel bad. Well, I don't kind of feel. I feel bad.
You should.
Because
you voted for it.
I never really could understand where they were coming from or where you guys were coming from. But I can assure you that now that it's here with us too,
happening
it's like,
to
crap,
you.
I honestly, legitimately didn't think it was real. But it's real as hell, and it's obviously minority groups that are targeted and persecuted pretty much.
Black people
and
told you.
Right now with us, because we're brown, I just want to say sorry for being ignorant before.
Apology
but I hope
not
this unites
accepted.
all communities, not just minorities, and call out things for what they are,
Boy,
regardless
please.
of the
Let's talk about something that a lot of people don't want to say out loud. The fact that Latinos supported Donald Trump in the last November's election did not start in 2024. It did not start with Donald Trump. It started 100 years ago. To understand why some Latino communities vote against their own interests, we need to understand where Latinos came from, how their identity was built, and how proximity to whiteness became their survival strategy. First of all, who are Latinos? Where did they come from? Before colonization, Latin America was not called Latin America. There were indigenous civilizations like Aztec, Maya, Inca, Taino, and Arawak. Then Europeans, mainly Spain and Portugal, arrived. They did not arrive alone. They came with Christianity, language, colonization, and the transatlantic slave trade. Millions of Africans were taken from West and Central Africa. Some of them were taken to the United States, but the majority of enslaved Africans were taken to the Caribbean and Latin America. Brazil alone received more than 4.9 million enslaved Africans, more than 12 times the number taken to the US. So Latin America became the mixing ground. Europeans, indigenous people, and enslaved Africans. From that mixture came a new demographic identity, Latinos. Latino identity was formed through intermarriage, force, grape, and colonial power, not by choice. Europeans wanted a permanent system to maintain power. They did not just create slavery, they created social classes, a racial ladder. At the top, white with Spanish blood. At the bottom, black and indigenous. In between, there were dozens of categories: mestizo, mulatto, castizo, and morisco. Your rights, your opportunities, and even your future spouse were decided by your proximity to whiteness. If you had a darker skin, you were treated as inferior. So generations after generations, people were told, the lighter you are, the better your life will be. Blackness is bad. Whiteness is safety. When slavery ended, racism did not end. Because Europeans taught Latin Americans to hate blackness, families discouraged marrying darker-skinned people because they believed they had to improve the race, which means to avoid blackness. So when many Latinos migrated to the US, they carried this belief system. Many of them didn't see themselves as Afro descendants. They thought they had no any connection to Black Americans or a part of any shared struggle. They saw themselves as almost white, close enough to whiteness to benefit, far enough from blackness to avoid punishment. Now let's connect that mindset to politics. Many Latinos arrived in the United States as Christian conservatives, family-oriented, hardworking, socially traditional. So when they hear Republicans saying things like, we believe in God, family values, protecting America, they relate. But here is where identity confusion comes in. They don't realize that Republicans see them as immigrants, not as potential white allies. And despite hearing we will deport migrants, many still voted Republicans because they believed they were not talking about them. They were talking about other immigrants. They voted according to who they want to be, not actually according to who they are. Many Latinos believe if I vote like white conservatives, I will be accepted as one of them. But here is the harsh truth. You can vote with them, you can agree with them, you can worship in the same church, but to them, you are still brown, immigrant, a foreigner, and the other. And when Trump himself said that we will deport millions, they finally realized that they were talking about them, not hypothetical immigrants. Because when Trump came for them, the same white conservatives they tried to impress were silent. But guess who they ran to? Black Americans. Because the history shows when America becomes hostile, when injustice hits, Black Americans are always on the front line. Black Americans fought during civil rights movement. They fought during the Voting Rights Act. During immigrant rights protests, Black Americans showed up. Black Americans understand oppressions because they lived it for over 400 years. So suddenly, the same people who ignored what black struggles are now saying, black folks, come and help us. But where was that same energy when Black Americans were saying, police brutality affects us, systemic racism affects us, we need allies? Here is another truth. Latinos and Black Americans share a history of colonization, a history of racism, history of displacement, African bloodline for many Latinos, a shared economic struggle. Both communities are overworked, underpaid, underrepresented, used during election seasons and ignored afterward. Divided, they are politically weak. United, they are unstoppable. If Black and Latino voters united, no president could win without them. Not Trump, not Biden, not anyone. It is not about who you pretend to be, who you vote for, or who you try to impress. Identity is about truth. And the truth is, many Latinos share African ancestry. Many Latinos face racism. Many Latinos in the US are treated as the outsiders. Your skin doesn't become white because you check the box at the ballot. You become powerful when you recognize who you are, stand in your truth, and unite with people who share your struggle. To Latinos watching, Black Americans are not your enemy. White acceptance will not serve you. Proximity to whiteness will not protect you. And to Black Americans watching, you don't have the responsibility of saving anyone. You don't have that kind of a responsibility. It must be from both ways. But what I encourage you guys is to promote solidarity among the marginalized groups in the USA. Solidarity is always very powerful, but it must be mutual. That's the way to win. So if you've got any idea about this video, tell me down there in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Anything that I've said that is wrong, correct me down there in the comment section. And if you have not yet liked the video, please click on that like button. That's the best way to help me. And for those viewers who have not yet subscribed, please subscribe for more interesting videos like this one. And that was Mr. TA signing off. Ciao.